Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing to this channel. If you are a subscriber, please check to make sure that you are still subscribed because YouTube unsubscribes people every day. And if you have not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We could use your help in our war to save pop culture. Thank you and enjoy the video. Picard is dead, Star Trek is in flames, and Kurtzman is finished. These are the latest rumors, from multiple sources too numerous to mention. My friends, I don't think there has ever been a time when Star Trek has been so low. Even after it was canceled in 1969, Star Trek still burned brightly in the hearts of fans, but now, Star Trek is just burning. And mostly, no one cares anymore. In a case of almost certainly too little, too late, Emma Watts at Paramount is finally trying to fix things, and that's bad news for Kurtzman, who is, after all, the problem. But what is really going on behind the scenes? What I'm about to share with you is information I cannot independently verify, so I must ask you to regard it as rumor and take it with several pinches of salt. But that said, I have seldom heard so many rumors from different sources all converging like this, and the naked facts on the ground are so starkly obvious that I must report, along with the normal reservations associated with any rumors, a high degree of confidence in the plausibility of these rumors. The simple, stark, and undeniable fact is Star Trek sucks. Under Kurtzman, this flaming bag of poop left on the porch of fandom is wretched beyond belief, a horrid, abject failure of spectacular proportions that has stone-cold murdered this once proud franchise. This is what happens when you put assholes with no love of a franchise in charge of a franchise. You leave the franchise alone with the mercenary in question, then you come back to find your franchise in the bathtub, packed with ice and missing its kidneys, being sold on the black market for cash. Star Trek is in the tub without its kidneys, and Alex Kurtzman is in a wet market overseas, selling its organs. Now it's all over, Danny Bailey, and the harvest is in. These are the rumors I've heard, all of them, and this is fairly likely what is going on with the kidneyless, ice-packed body of the franchise formerly known as Star Trek. Let's start with what we know for sure. On August 7th, Deadline published an article stating that Emma Watts' top priority at Paramount was to figure out how to reboot Star Trek. That right there is absolutely an unequivocal public confession that Star Trek is in trouble. After all, you don't worry about rebooting something that is successful. Emma Watts is the president of the Paramount Motion Picture Group, personally appointed by Shari Redstone and partly responsible for fabulous films in the past, like Deadpool. So it is no laughing matter that Watts has acknowledged that Star Trek is in need of a reboot and is actively looking to plug the massive holes in the hull of the Star Trek brand. This article, an announcement, was a distress flare shot into the sky, as well as a shot across Kurtzman's franchise-destroying bow, an FU message in a newly emptied bottle. The party's over, and it's time to sober up and fix Star Trek. Since Kurtzman is the problem with Star Trek, this announcement was a problem for Kurtzman. I have heard that during a video meeting, Kurtzman absolutely lost his shit when confronted with how badly Star Trek has done and pitched a temper tantrum. And I heard that this meeting may have been recorded. If anyone has this recording, gee whiz, I sure would love to see it. Please consider sending it to me. An unhinged rant is a terrible thing to waste, and Doomcock would be eternally grateful for the laugh. The point of all this being, in this article, along with another article published in close proximity to it by Scott Mendelson in Forbes magazine, stating that Paramount failed to turn Star Trek into a blockbuster franchise, Star Trek is being set forth as a failing, if not failed franchise, and Kurtzman is nowhere mentioned as part of the solution. Ostensibly in his position of overseeing everything to do with Star Trek as per his contract, The fact that Watts is depicted as being in charge, as opposed to Kurtzman, speaks volumes, typed in all caps with tons of expletives and colorful metaphors about just how much trouble Kurtzman is in for the handling of Star Trek. Essentially, continuing my earlier metaphor, not only is Star Trek a corpse that is missing its kidneys, but with minimal merchandising, no international distribution, and Star Trek Lower Decks with a 35% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, Star Trek's dead body has been sold to necrophiliacs who, in addition to the usual orifices, are using the kidney holes. In light of all these facts published in the mainstream media, here are the latest rumors published on 4chan. Netflix drops rights for Star Trek Discovery / Amazon refuses to fund Picard. A post by Anonymous. If you haven't seen any trailers for the Star Trek Discovery internationally, you're not alone. There's a worldwide blackout on marketing for the show outside of the US. There's a reason. Netflix has refused to renew their deal with CBS over Star Trek Discovery, as the viewership the show attracts is not worth the exorbitant fee that is being asked of them. This fee was so high in Season 1, it virtually paid for the production of the season by itself. This, to my knowledge, is absolutely true from a number of articles and sources previously. However, Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery was among the lowest rated high-budget shows on the platform. Additionally, while Netflix did eventually air the short Trek webisodes, once they were provided by CBS as a, quote, make good, unquote, these were watched by an abysmally small audience that numbered in the tens of thousands internationally. This is why they did not air the second season of Short Treks. Well, I can attest to that. In fact, CBS, in its desperation for some kind of publicity regarding this disaster, actually posted all these short treks on YouTube, which was a huge mistake because we can actually see just how abysmally they have performed. I can tell you, as a YouTuber, I have had videos that have gotten more views in the first hour than a lot of these short treks have in total. It is that bad. That is abysmal when I, in an hour, can get more views than these short treks have in their lifetime on YouTube. CBS has been scrambling to work out new distribution plans for Star Trek Discovery internationally. The current plan is for it to air in some countries on their own all-access equivalents. For instance, in Australia on 10 All Access, or as it's known over there, 10 All Access. However, Netflix still has the rights to the first 2 seasons for another 6 months, so the show is unlikely to be broadcast until this expires and the entire show can be presented as one. The US and potentially Canada will be the only ones who get to see Star Trek Discovery Season 3 at its intended broadcast dates starting in October. Oh, lucky US and Canada. God, whatever did they do to deserve that? The loss of Netflix funding is partially why Season 3 is the last season of Star Trek Discovery and why the show has been canceled. In the same vein, Amazon has not yet renewed their contract to run Picard Season 2 on Prime Video. The lack of this source of funding is partially why the studio is in such chaos over the production of future Picard. I'm not reporting these 4chan rumors solely on the basis of being published on 4chan, which has in the past been tainted by planted disinformation designed to discredit and identify leakers. I'm mentioning them because in a lot of ways they echo things I have been told by other sources. Here is what one of my sources tells me about these particular rumors. Okay, a lot more credibility to this leak than you would think with the disinformation. I don't want to say it's all right, but Picard is in complete chaos apparently. I fully believe most of these, not all, but 1 through 5, and the last one, 100%. By the way, skeptical about the second to last 2, however. I have a suspicion it's accurate. And regarding Picard, my source says, got it confirmed, Picard is in complete chaos. They can't insure Patrick, he is over it. As well, the contracts may actually end in November. Indeed, prior to this leak, I received word from a source that production on Star Trek Picard Season 2 got pushed back indefinitely. This was from a source directly involved in the production. There has also been some very weird and bad news regarding some shooting that either recently began or is slated to begin. Shooting going under the label STD Season 4. This could certainly be mislabeled reshoots for the last few episodes of Discovery, or it could be something to do with some other series, or it could be disinformation, but it at least merits a mention in this report. It may be a tricky way of trying to finagle money out of Netflix, essentially a desperation move to shoot Strange New Worlds, but label it officially as Star Trek Discovery Season 4, so that contractually Netflix might be forced to pay for it with the promise of merging the seasons, a sneaky way to meet certain legal requirements to milk Netflix out of more money as Netflix struggles to limp away from the bear trap that is Kurtzman's Star Trek. I have no idea regarding whether or not that is true, but I do know this. Star Trek is a kidneyless corpse, sold to necrophiles, taking its body down the river to meet a bunch of hillbillies who thinks it looks a lot like Ned Beatty and has a purty mouth. Down, 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 down. That's the new Star Trek theme, incidentally, or at least it should be. Oh, how far Star Trek has fallen. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.